Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Monica Harper. I'm the Executive Director of the AACFB, and I'm pleased to welcome you to today's webinar, Bite-Sized Marketing for Busy Brokers, Tactics That Don't Drain Your Time. Please note that today's webinar is being recorded, so all participant lines will be muted during the broadcast. However, you can submit a question at any time during the presentation by using the Q&A box, and they will be answered by the end of the webinar. If you have a question and would like to ask your question verbally, please click your raise your hand feature and you will be unmuted to speak at that time. Our presenters today are Autumn Faust, Marketing Manager at Avtep Capital, and Ashley Gomes, Senior Marketing Manager at American Bank Equipment Finance. I want to thank you both for sharing your experience with our audience today, and it is all yours.
Thanks, Monica. We are really excited. We are just going to get started by doing a little introduction on the both of us. Ashley, if you want to get started.
Yeah, so I'm Ashley. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at American Bank Equipment Finance. I have over 10 years experience in marketing, working for small size companies, mid-size, in the financial sector and government agencies as well.
And I'm Autumn. I'm with Avtech Capital. I started at Avtech a little under 5 years ago. I started actually in our funding documentation side, and then I got brought over to our marketing team about 2 years ago, and I've learned actually a lot of our marketing side on the job, which has had its challenges and its rewards. So I'm excited. I think we both have a little bit of a different background. So we're excited to share a lot of our strategies. And we wanted to get started. I think today, majority of what we're going to be talking about are strategies that are going to fall under this tier one budget, which would be for kind of one man, solo brokers, one person type businesses, smaller businesses, maybe a little bit of tier two, smaller brokerages. I think the majority of what we won't be talking about will be the in-house marketing team. And we'll start by talking about tools and software. And I think a lot of what we'll be touching on may be familiar to brokers. Hopefully, some of these you've heard of before. And we'll touch some of it might overlap with what you're familiar with, and hopefully we'll share some that you haven't heard from before. So hopefully everyone has heard of Canva. This is a really, really common tool, and I think Ashley would agree. Everyone should be using Canva. This is a very, very common tool. Everyone in marketing uses this tool. This is a free tool. There is a free version and a pro version. I think that the pro version is definitely worth paying for. It's a really low cost, I think it's $20 a month. And the pro version, I mean, it comes with, I think, 500,000 templates, which is low cost, high reward. But it's basically just a graphic design software meant for beginners. So brokers can definitely start with no experience and just dive right in. And I think tools. I think if you've been to an AACFB show before, or a NIFA show, or an ELFA show, and you've gotten any Avtech golf balls or any flyers or folders or business cards, I have done all of that in Canva. It's very, very easy to use. I've mocked up everything in Canva. And I think that any kind of training material, any kind of PDF, business card, anything like that can be done in Canva. And I think even Canva now has a plugin with ChatGPT, which we'll talk a little bit more, some more strategies. I think right now we're just going to cover what these tools are, and then we'll talk a little bit more about strategies and how to use them on a deeper level. But ChatGPT, everyone should have heard this by now. I think we can go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with AI, but ChatGPT, artificial intelligence chatbot, there's a free version and again, $20 a month version. There is a custom GPT that you can create. You can do this on the free version. Our CEO is absolutely obsessed with AI right now. He has, I think, explored any single AI tool you can possibly think of. But what he's created for us that's been really, really helpful is a custom GPT. I included a little snapshot here. It's what I think he called it this content creator. And again, you can create this yourself on the free version. And a custom GPT basically is something that you can feed it information about your company, where you're basically tailoring it to your brokerage, and it will store this information and it will then tailor its responses based on what you fed it. So, for example, for AvTech, we fed it any kind of information about our company from when we started, what our audience base is, what our parameters are, how we fund our transactions, anything from our credit department to the industries we work in, anything like that. So when we're typing in prompts for sales content or marketing content, we don't have to we don't have to type it in every single time. It will store this information for us. And again, then the responses are so much more detailed. And I think it just saves us so much more time. So I would recommend any broker creating a custom GPT. And if you don't know how to do that, ask ChatGPT. It will literally tell you how to do it. It's, as you know, very, very smart. And something that I found helpful, just a few little tips, is I tell ChatGPT not to agree with me because I think that I've noticed a lot of people have problems with ChatGPT being a little too agreeable to the point where it can be a little inaccurate. So I tell it to not agree with me if I'm telling it something that's not true. I want it to be very factual. I think, especially in marketing, it's very important to be accurate and when you're looking for content, whether you're looking for statistics or anything like that, you want to make sure you are being accurate. I mean, you're representing a company and you want to make sure the information you're putting out is true. So again, that's something that's worked for me, making sure that you're telling it not to agree with you and for it to be providing you true content. And then something else that this is just personal preference. I tell it to not include any emojis. I think that is a dead giveaway, that it is artificial intelligence. I think if you're especially copying it and whether it's a caption or whether it's something you're writing a blog or any type of content that you're just copying, I think removing emojis entirely. I don't know if Ashley would agree with me on that, but
Yeah, definitely. And some other ways that I use ChatGPT, in addition to what Autumn was saying, is for coming up with content. So like a blog, whether you write it or you have ChatGPT write it, it can edit it, proof it. If you need help with a video script, if you need help with a flyer, you can even upload examples for it to refer to, or you can upload like pictures from your company or anything for it to add into it. So it's a really great tool to help with creating content or generating ideas or even just proofing like email messages, email campaigns, social posts, anything like that. It's really great for, and with it, being specific too on what you want and the tone, if you want it shorter, punchier, catchy, taglines, things like that. Yeah, it works really great for that. And to more humanize what ChatGPT would write. So you can take what they write and put it in there, and it makes it more like a humanized flair on it instead of like the typical like AI, like if AI wrote it. So
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I would totally agree with that. This is one example, like a little cross collaboration, I guess I would say, between Canva and ChatGPT, how to use them both together. So I think one strategy with ChatGPT is to ask ChatGPT how to improve your prompts, right? I think it's really natural for us to just say, write me a caption for this, or write me a content strategy for this. And there's so many ways that you can be adding more context to your prompts to get a much better prompt for ChatGPT to give you a better response. So, for example, in ChatGPT, I think it was maybe yesterday, I said, I'm giving a presentation to brokers. I want to give them a really good prompt so they can create a one-page guide to equipment financing to give to their customers that will have a really high conversion rate, for them to create a one-page guide to creating Canva. And so this is the prompt that I put in was really generic. It wasn't very great. And then it gave me this prompt. So then I copied this prompt. It gave me a ton of information. I brought that over to Canva. It took me maybe 5 minutes. I looked for a business flyer, really, really simple template. There's so many to choose from. And I think Canva especially, you want to you want to remove any manual processes in marketing to save yourself so much time. So we utilize the brand kit. You upload your colors, you upload your logos, your font and everything. That's what I did here. And it takes you minutes. You can create anything. So if you're not utilizing that, you need to. In very simple terms. This took me minutes. And I think in Canva, especially, you should be making PDFs that are interactive for your customers. So, for example, on this flyer, I could have made a call to action that had a link, a book a call link that will link to your Outlook calendar, or something that links to your website, or something like that. I think that's really, really, really useful. I think this relates a little bit to what Ashley was talking about. Claude is another AI tool that I use. I like it because I think has a little bit more of a humanized tone to it. I think it's a little bit more creative than ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT more because it has a bigger knowledge base. That's because it's more widely used, right? The more people that use it, it builds its knowledge. So I like Claude because it's more creative. I also think it's great for uploading images. So if you're a broker and you have, say, a really outdated document, say you're sending customers this really long, maybe boring, I don't know, Microsoft Word document with your parameters, and you just need to update it. You need to simplify it, modernize it. You need something that is a lot more digestible for your customers. You can upload it to Claude, say, simplify this for me, make it more digestible for my customers. And it will do that. It will give you some feedback. And then you take it over to Canva, make it simple, make it look prettier. It can take you 10 minutes. And I think, um, just as any AI, you really need to look at the content and make sure that it aligns with what you're looking at. Make sure it is accurate. AI is always improving, but you do want to make sure that you're not just blindly copying and pasting something. You do need that human aspect. You don't want to replace yourself. You do want to make sure that you're looking at what you're pasting in there. The last tool that AvTech uses that I wanted to talk about is Substack. This is something I've been loving recently. I think AvTech signed up just a few months ago, so we're really new to this, and I've been loving it. Not because it replaces our email marketing tool. We still pay and use other email marketing software, but I like this because it's entirely free to use. And it's really easy to use. So you do have the option to have paid subscribers, but I think for brokers, I don't think your main intent is to become a blogger or, profit from paid subscribers. So at least for AvTech, we will never plan on having paid subscribers. We'll never charge anyone to look at our content. That's never our intent. We just want to share articles and industry news and blogs and things like that. So I created an account. It was very easy. You can, again, upload your logo, choose the fonts, colors, the theme that you want. And what I like about it, other than that it's free, is that you can use ChatGPT, create a whatever topic that you want. I chose for Q2, give me a trending topic for business owners or CFOs that would grab their attention. So it gave me what smart CFOs are doing differently in 2025. And not only will it give me all the content that I need and an image and whatnot, but it will post it to Substack and then it will also automatically send it to their email, right? So I uploaded the contacts that I wanted it to send to, automatically sends it to their email for free. And then once it's done doing that, it will automatically create me some images that look beautiful for me to post it across different platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever different platforms. And it does that automatically. And that saves me so much time. I don't need to sit and make different formatted pictures and different things like that. It does that automatically. Something I do want to mention for any email marketing platform or newsletter platform, you can't send these emails without consent, right? You can't send out thousands of emails to contacts without them opting in. So if you already have a list where customers have opted in, great. Go ahead and upload them, put in their email, send away. But if you If you don't have that list, now is a great time to add a button on your website or add it to your email signature or start collecting those, start growing that list now. Now's a great time. But this is just a tool that we're really new to. So if you're interested, just put your email in the chat and I can get you added to it. It's just something that we've recently started exploring and it's free. So if you're interested. And then Ashley, if you wanted to talk about some of the tools that you guys are using.
Yeah, so this one, it's SEM Rush. It's basically an SEO tool, which is keywords. So it has a lot of really cool features that you can use. So basically, you can type in any keyword, relevant to your industry or your business, and it will show you the search volume. So you can see if it's low, medium, or high, how competitive it is, as well as like related keywords, maybe some ones that are trending that you haven't used, and you can incorporate that into your content or in your website. All of that will help you rank higher in search. Additionally, you can also look up competitors. So you can put in their website and it will show you what keywords they're using. And also if they're doing any paid ads, paid, keywords, things like that. So you can also kind of benchmark against that. So it's a really great tool if you're, thinking of ways to optimize your site or your content or just topics you know, for other pieces of content. And within it, one thing you can do that helps is when you save a file, how you name it, that's the meta tag. So that will also, it's the alt tag, that will also help with search. So if you have it on your website somewhere, it will also help come up higher in search. So this is a really great tool. It's free for just the basic um, one, but you can get a paid membership as well. And then a couple other ones. HubSpot is a really great resource. They have a variety of tools. So the image on the left, they have a website grader tool. So what you do is you just put in your website URL and it grades it across everything. So look at the performance, the security, the SEO, the file size, the page speed, and it'll tell you what you can improve on. And it kind of just gives you a good idea of what you can do better for a better user experience as well as, optimizing your site. And then they also have, which is the image on the right, they have a huge resource library of free resources, tools, and templates for marketing. So they have anything from building a social media strategy, building a marketing strategy, um, PR, events, budgeting, things like that. So if you're not sure where to start or how to build one, this is a really great site to use. Again, it's free and you can completely customize it and then download it. So if you're looking for, having a strategy on paper or not sure where to get started, definitely check out HubSpot tools. Another one is Hootsuite. So this is for social media. You can schedule out social media posts on like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of that. And you can connect your social media accounts to it. And it will tell you like analytics for a given time period. It'll tell you your follower growth, your engagement, your top posts, and it'll generate reports. So it's a really good tool to have if you're using social media or want to. All the social media platforms right now give you some basic analytics. But if you're looking for a scheduling tool or want more specific reporting and analytics, this is a really great one. Their lowest subscription is like $99 a month, and then it goes up. But yeah, this is a really good one to have. And then another one, Google Analytics. For any website, it's free. You just add the snippet of code. So if you have a web developer or whoever manages your website, they can add that on. And it shows you all your website traffic. You can filter by the date. You can generate a report. Um, Google Analytics is an amazing tool. Whether you're a beginner on it or the more training you do, you'll really see its capabilities. You can see what pages people are going to on your website when they drop off, which kind of gives you some opportunities. Maybe that web page isn't as user friendly, or there's not a lot of content on it, or there's too much. You can see your top performing pages. So if you do any specific campaign related web pages where you're driving traffic to, whether it's for like an event or a special promotion or anything, you can kind of see all the traffic that's there, and you can get really detailed analytics on the users, like um, if they're viewing your site on mobile or desktop or on a tablet, what cities or states they're in, their age range, what they're interested in, all of that you can see. And you can also see your keywords. And if you do run any Google ads, it's integrated in there as well. So it's a free tool. But so if you're not using it, definitely set one up and just put that code on your website. Another one we use, it's QR code generator. There's a lot of tools like this. I use this one for a lot of reasons. So it generates a QR code that you can put on, any physical collateral, like a flyer, a business card, any handout, and it'll track scans and it'll generate a report. So it'll show you the total scans, as well as like the what cities these people who were scanned it in, how they scanned it, on what system, if it was, what kind of phone they had. And you can link to like a website, a PDF, a document, a video, anything like that you can link to. Um, and the basic membership's like $10 a month, but there's a lot of tools like this. But I like this one too because you can put like your logo in the QR code. So it's a really great tool to have. So for content, um, these are kind of the basic types of content that you can create. So blog posts, ebooks, or white paper guides, infographics, case studies, videos, podcasts, as well as I would add on here like email campaigns too, and social media posts, graphics. So this is a lot of what we'll talk about in this next section. One of the best strategies with content marketing is repurposing it. So I have an example in the next slide for it, but basically you can take one topic or one piece of content you have and break it up into other pieces of content and then share it across a variety of channels and mediums. So social media, email campaigns, your website, anything like that. You can take sections from it. So if for this example, if you have an ebook, if you want to take like a statistic from it, you can make that into a graphic and put it on social media. Or you can do an overview of what they would learn in this ebook and put it as an infographic. You can do a video talking about it. So the smartest way to use with content marketing is taking one thing and repurposing it across it. You get way more bang for your buck doing it that way.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. And I think something that's worked really well for us, this is one example that I have for our sales floor, one of the sales materials that we provide for them. We give them PDFs. So this example I have here is a PDF that we made in Canva. It is just a deal highlight. So this is a recently funded transaction, and this is the same deal across all of these different mediums. So we have a PDF, a social media post, and a blog post. And the PDF is something that they can share with customers, right? So it's an image, the dollar amount, the industry, the location, the term, a little bit about the transaction. And this is a material that basically they can share with customers. And we have a stack of them, and they're sorted by industry. We have them sorted by what type of lease it is, what the dollar amount. So depending on who they're talking with a customer, we have so many of them that they're bound to have some sort of sales material that the customer can relate to. And they have some kind of material that there's proof of concept, proof of value. And I think that's been really helpful for them. And then also, like as Ashley mentioned, we're basically stretching this content over multiple different mediums. We have this social post, which is really so simple, right? It's an image. I think this one in specific is some kind of GIF where the number counts upward. We post it across all these different platforms. And then on the far right, we have a web article. Again, exact same recently funded deal, but it's in a long blog written type format. And I think not only are we stretching the content, right, but this is so you're not coming up with original content every single day. Um, and I think another form of doing this is customer reviews, right? So, for example, we have this exact same transaction, right? We loved working with them. They loved working with us. We pulled this from our um, company's Google page, and this was a really long review. So our marketing team copied it. We sliced it up into a few different posts. We posted it across social media. So whether your company has Google reviews or you're on Trustpilot, however it is that you're collecting customer feedback, or maybe you're not, now's a great time to start. Again, this is completely free. It's $0. There's so many ways you likely already have this content and you just need to gather it. And if you don't have it, it's very easily, collectible, I think. So I completely agree with Ashley that this is repurposing content goes so, so far.
Yeah, so this was an example of one that we did. We had one topic, which, was how to leverage equipment financing for growth. We first created the ebook or the white paper guide, and then we took that, turned it into an infographic, which is short, easy to digest, very visual. And then we took it further into an email marketing campaign that we linked to the white paper, the infographic, and we did a video talking about it. So we really broke it up in a lot of ways and stretched it and took little bits from each and 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 did it that way. So you can just take one topic and stretch it and use it in a variety of different ways. Um, so yeah, these are just some examples of kind of how we did that.
Yeah, I think seeing how, even though we're two different companies, there's so many different ways to do it. So I think comparing them side by side and seeing what would work for your brokerage. One really common strategy in marketing, one common practice is to let your audience kind of guide your ad dollars. So we talked about content marketing, so turning these past deals into content, these social posts, blogs, videos, whatnot. And then after posting it, waiting 1 to 2 weeks, and then checking the performance and how they did. One thing I wanted to mention is creating a business profile on social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, that's completely free, doesn't cost anything. And reviewing those posts for any type of engagement, whether that's reposts, shares, likes, however it is that you're gauging that type of engagement, that doesn't cost anything, reviewing what that looks like for you. And obviously, apart from your company engagement, right? You want to be looking at what your customers are engaging with and letting that guide how you're going to be spending your ad dollars and running the highest engagement posts as paid ads and creating call to actions that align with those posts. And then, of course, the posts that didn't perform so well, don't boost those posts and reviewing that content, trying something different in different formats and anything like that. I didn't know if you had anything to add on this one.
No.
One other thing that we wanted to touch on in terms of strategy is related to brand visibility, and humanizing your brand. And this we kind of split up into two sections, doing this online and offline. And so doing this online, something that's worked really well for us online, and this isn't even a new idea, but I think you'd be surprised how many people don't have a very search friendly company. We recently redid our website over the past year, and I think it's had a really big impact. But being search friendly is really important. I think people being able to search your company and see who it is they're actually working with, right? So on our website, you can go to our about page, and not only can you see our executive team and see, our credit team and see our president, see our executives, you can also see our accounting team. You can see our marketing team. You can see every single person that works at AvTech. Now, I understand that that's likely a lot easier if you have a smaller company. If you have a big company, that is a very big undertaking to get headshots of your entire company. But I just think that that's not only is that builds that familiarity, but it also builds, it legitimizes your company a lot. And I think that goes hand in hand with your email signature. We made this change. I believe it was last year. We added everyone's headshots into their email signature. There was some research that supported that adding your face in your email signature helps increase response rates. And so I think if you're a broker and you're doing a lot of cold outreach, I think that helps um, your emails not look like spam. And even if this is, not cold outreach and you're working back and forth with the customer, it helps build that rapport, and it helps, at least what's worked well for us is with our documentation team. It helps our teams build this rapport with our customers, and these customers want to work with us because we are real people, right? They know what we look like, they know who they're dealing with, and they feel like they're getting to know us just beyond our name and our company. So this has worked really well for us. So I think, again, being search friendly and people can look up who you are and get familiar with your company online. Another way of doing this is through more community involvement. So again, this doesn't cost anything. And even going back to the email signatures, you can add links in there to get reviews. You can add call to actions and different things like that. It all kind of ties back to being search friendly. And I think with the community involvement, this might be things you're already doing, right? And I think just sharing it. So whether it's podcasts or webinars or different things like that, it doesn't cost anything. And I think just sharing it online really, really goes a long way.
Yeah, so a little bit back to what Autumn was saying. One really key thing is to avoid using stock images. So if you have images of like you people at your company together, if you have like a photographer come in, like put that in there, puts a face to the name. Stock images are really easy to tell. Sometimes it's, not every company can do it, but if you can, it's a really, really great thing to do. Couple other things. Having a resource page on your website is really beneficial. That page will be there even when you're not working, not doing business. Um, so it's always there. People can find it. It positions you as an expert, a thought leader, gives you credibility. So have that there. Your content will be always working for you, even when you are not. So really easy to create on your website. Try to at least do one new piece of content a week if possible, or at least just try to keep it fresh. Couple other things, we do it as well with the customer reviews and testimonials. A couple ways you can get that is, like Autumn said, put it in the email signature. You can even send out an email campaign to customers you recently did a deal with, asking them for feedback and link to your review pages, whether you have it on Google or on Facebook, or if you don't have either, just have them give you a review. Sometimes people need to be incentivized. So it's, hey, leave us a review for a chance to win, I don't know, a gift card or something, or a branded cooler or something that you have. So you can do it that way as well. Sometimes it even helps if, the person they're working with reaches out to them asking them for it. Or you can send out a survey and include in there an optional if they want to leave a review. And then you can take that, put it on your website, create a social post out of it. It's humanizing it and it's a real experience someone had working with your business. Um, Another way to humanize it is video. We do a lot with video. So typically we'll try to do a thumbnail image of the person. So again, to humanize it, this is the person you'll be hearing from. We'll share that across social and email campaigns as well, and even on our website. So those are some other ways that, you kind of humanize your brand online.
Yeah, I agree. The social proof goes very, very far, a lot further than you would think. Um, Now, one way to humanize your brand offline is giving your customers or your partners a way to engage with your brand physically, right? In a way that's tangible. So one way is, of course, at conferences, but even just if you're able to work with your customers in person, or whether you're able to go to the sites that you were involved with the projects on, or for example, at this last conference that we went to in April with AACFB, we handed out these flyers. The flyers are so affordable, right? This is such an easy way to have um, partners engage with your brand. And even though Nike is not our brand, right? But part of our brand is celebrating wins and being able to celebrate with our partners when they win and we're winning. And I think it all kind of ties back to this engagement and relatability and being able to share this. And I think, yeah, this is more related to offline and in person, and taking pictures, and that tangibility, I think, is kind of what it relates to in terms of conferences.
Yeah, and very similar to Autumn. Photos at events, trade shows, events, team building activities, any volunteer work, things like that. To post it, on social media. Use these images on your website. If you send out a newsletter, email, anything like that, it's good. At trade shows and events, if there's a speaking opportunity, you could be in a panel or anything to just also showcase your brand and who you are, how you can help them, and to really showcase, your value proposition and how you might be different. Those are some other, ways you can humanize it offline.
All right, that is what we've got. I don't know if we have any questions in the chat, Monica.
We, well, we have some, let's see. Thank you for these great pointers. Can we get a copy of this webinar recording? And we are recording it. It will be on the AACFB members only section of the website, and it will be under the education tab. So you can look for it there. Says chat is disabled. Can you enable it? Well, probably not at this point. Do you have a good way to get vendors to opt in to receive emails? We have pretty good success with customers, but most vendors or sales reps don't care.
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, I think Ashley, if you have any ideas, feel free to chime in. I think, I think especially after working with a vendor while it's hot, that's a great time to connect with them. That's a great time to get reviews, but also in terms of connecting with them to opt in to getting more content out to them. So whether that be via email, phone call, putting it in your email signature block, anything like that. Um, Actually, I don't know if you have any ideas in
Yeah.
terms of getting them to opt in.
Yeah, typically for us, when we have a vendor that we're onboarding, so mine would be specific to ones that that they're working with us. We put them in our CRM, so Salesforce, and then we use Pardot, which is Salesforce's marketing tool. So we put them in Salesforce, and then they go into Pardot as well for emails, so they're automatically opted in. That's just part of our onboarding. You receive our emails. So that's how we do it. I guess you could probably cold call them or email them or send them something for them to opt in. One thing you can do is on your website, you can have like a pop-up for them to subscribe to like receiving communications that way. So that could be something, or If you go to events where vendors are at, you could have something on your booth, like a QR code scan to sign up or opt into our emails. So you could probably do it that way as well.
Um, what is the best way to collect customer feedback to get them to actually want to leave reviews? Typically, our customers have great experiences, but getting them to actually tell other people about it is like pulling teeth.
So this one, I saw this earlier and I answered that a little bit ago with how you can email them, maybe provide an incentive for leaving a review, put it in your email signature, the link to it. The person they're working with, have them reach out to them asking for a review. And also, if you are reaching out to them, ask them, like, tell them why it's important to have that review and how it would mean a lot. And it just helps, the company know what they can improve on or what their experience was like. You can send a survey too. So that's typically what I would do. Can you do like a referral campaign too as well? Um,
Yeah, something that's works really well for us. We have like a customer retention program, so which has worked really well for us, but that's, we do spend quite a bit of money to send these gifts to our customers, but something that's a lot lower of a spend is doing like a little $5, $10, $15 Starbucks gift card because that social proof is really invaluable. Getting a 5-star Google review versus, not having it or getting rid of 1-star reviews or anything like that. It's a big deal, right? So I think getting them on the phone and talking to them and telling them, like Ashley said, why it's important and what you're willing to do to get that. Now, there is a fine line in terms of incentivizing them and bribing them because you don't want to go over that line and take it too far, right? Because you don't want to get a fake review. You do want it to be authentic and you do want it to be true to their experience. But yeah, I would say to offer something like that, not to be, afraid of that. That's something that's worked really well for us.
What do you use to create custom email signatures? I know I've done mine in Canva, but I don't know if you have used another method.
Yeah, so you can do them in Outlook, but you are somewhat limited. So we use something called Code 2, and I don't know if you're limited to how many, because we have about 65 employees at our company, and it costs $1 to $2 per person. So if you have a smaller brokerage, that's very, very affordable. And it's limitless. Like you can do anything. We have, you can brand it however you want. Um, but yeah, as far as I know, I mean, you can do it in Outlook and in Gmail. You can really mess with it quite a bit. I will say to be very careful with how many links. You don't want to have too many links and too many images, because you don't want that to affect your deliverability rate and have emails be marked as spam if you have too many things going on in your email signature block.
Okay. Next one, incredible presentation. Wow, I feel like I've looked inside your brain and your key vendors and programs you use. What is your strategy on video and messaging and content TPO produce in your first 5 to 10 videos?
So for video, we use a program. It's called Bomb. So you set up accounts for whoever wants to do it. You can record it on your desktop or on your phone. There's an app, and it's tied to you. It has all your contact information and a button for them to just get in contact with you. And we send that out via like email campaigns, things like that. Um, so we've done it that way. We for like our broker partners, we'll do ones on like how to use our portal, things like that, or on our programs. So really you can come up with different topics. I would suggest keeping the videos under a minute. You don't want them too long. You can lose a lot of people, short attention spans, unless it's like a long training video or something like that. So I would definitely recommend trying out video. You can also use Zoom and record it. So if you want to like interview, I don't know, a client or someone that you want to do a testimonial or just an interview style video, you can record it and there's like free editing video software tools you can do as well. Put it on YouTube, try to grow it that way. You can partner with other, um, if you have like a financing partner you're working with, you could do a video with them and then they're sharing it on their YouTube and their social media as well as you can, which will also help grow your followers, subscribers, things like that. So, um, definitely try to get comfortable with video because that is really popular, with digesting information.
And I know Canva has some video capabilities as well, like in terms of well, they have some videos you can plop in, but creating an intro to something, like if you wanted to create an intro to your branded intro into a video or something like that,
Hmm.
you can do that. We also use We Video for editing. It's we don't have, I think there might be a version. We don't use the free version, but it's not that expensive either. What about messaging to generate lead responses on social media?
Lead responses to generate leads from social media.
I think so.
Generate leads. I mean, if you're offering like something special or really with social media, you want clear calls to action,
Hmm.
Um, you want to take them offline. So direct them to your website, give them your phone number, send them to a specific landing page or something to take it offline. If you have a page that has like a form on it for them to fill out, so then they'll go in your CRM or it'll notify you to contact them. I would say anything with a clear call to action, to contact you, is probably the best. Autumn, I don't know if you have anything with that.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's no
Do
posting
you
video.
have any advice on posting videos? When is commercial production better for educational videos versus someone talking into their phone to make it more personalized? And how do you decipher between the two on which to post versus is vertical versus horizontal important, etc.?
So,
We,
mhm.
oh, you can go.
So what we've been doing a lot of is kind of ones that are less polished. A lot of these that you see on Instagram or TikTok, it's like someone walking and they have a thought and they're talking. So I think if you have a blend of those, ones that aren't as polished. And again, everyone's brand company is different. And then you can have some corporate ones that are more, a production. You have a videographer in there. You can do that as well. For social, if you want to do it as like a reel on Instagram or on YouTube, you would need them, vertical. But for YouTube, you can do them both ways. So it depends, kind of how you want it.
Yeah, I would agree with Ashley. I think a blend of both, and I think it all depends on the platform. So, for example, if your audience is on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts, definitely more casual and you want to do vertical, that's just the audience. But on our website, for example, we have much more formal, horizontal, same with YouTube. But you're right. So YouTube is going to be vertical, a little bit more formal, but then YouTube Shorts, people are scrolling on their phone. They don't want something formal. They're going to want something, you just got to think about the platform and think about the audience that's on that platform. So I think it's a blend of both, but I do think the way the world is going, I do think it's a bit more informal. I mean, even on LinkedIn, the demographic typically is a little bit older and a little bit of a different audience. However, we've been noticing the engagement is shifting, right? And so it's all about who your audience is, I would say. So I don't know if that's a good answer, but
I think this kind of leads in it. Do you think TikTok and Instagram should be utilized over Facebook and LinkedIn?
Not necessarily. Again, to what Autumn said, it depends who your audience is and where they are. I I think they all serve their purpose. I think it's good to have all of them. Which ones you spend more time on versus the other, again, that's just up to you, who your target audience is, and where they are. Um,
Do you guys get more response from one over another?
I would say, just speaking for AvTech, we typically get a lot more engagement and views on something like TikTok. However, something to think about is that's great for visibility and brand awareness, right? Because your reach is a lot higher. Like YouTube Shorts, you get thousands and thousands of views, right? Because people are scrolling and they're just on those platforms for a lot longer. Because typically people aren't sitting on LinkedIn on the weekends, right?
Mhm.
In their bed, like they are on TikTok. However, you got to think about conversion rates. Are CFOs and business owners sitting on LinkedIn looking to finance millions and millions of dollars on TikTok, right? So you just got to think about what your goal is for each. So I'm not saying one is bad. I think they each serve a different purpose.
And I will say, like, if you have a white paper guide or an ebook or a blog you want to share, probably LinkedIn, you can upload that PDF or that document and it's there. Whereas on TikTok, unless you have it, as a graphic or a video to see it, that's not the place for it. So also what kind of content you're trying to promote will also indicate what platform is probably best served for it.
Mhm.
All right, great. Um, I'm not seeing any more questions. Again, we are putting this video on our website. So if anybody wants to go back and review the slides and slow it down and stop and take notes or anything like that, you're more than welcome to go back and do that. And if you'd like to get in touch with Ashley or Autumn, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer some questions offline as well.
Absolutely.
So with that, we will wrap it up. I want to say a big thank you for everyone who participated and to both of you for sharing your expertise. I know there are a lot of things out there for marketing and everybody, it just doesn't have a lot of time and wants to know where to put their resources, whether it's time or money. So I appreciate your expertise on that. And again, check back on our website if you want to watch the video. And we hope to see you on our next call. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.